I got engagements at all the big boardwalk hotels in Atlantic City, which is like Brighton in England. The most beautiful, wonderful hotels where each had a trio, a cello, piano, and violin playing for the guests as they were sitting around in the lobby. And it was wonderful for me because I had been working around at parties or little weddings or whatever, singing "Oh Promise Me" for $5 or $10. And here I was engaged to do a series in all those beautiful hotels, posh, very posh hotels, beautiful dining rooms, wonderful food. I'd come in Friday for dinner, and all day Saturday I'd be on the beach, sunning myself. Saturday evening I'd sing a few songs in the lobby for the people, and have my dinner on Saturday evening, stay over for breakfast, and usually till after lunch. On Sunday I would leave with $25 in my pocket, $25. I remember when I reached the plateau of where I was getting $250 a week, which was a fortune in those days. I said, if I could only work for 10 years at $250 a week, I could save enough during those 10 years to live the rest of my life, never dreaming that one day my income will be $20,000 a week.
I'm nothing else but just a poor street singer. I'm always singing for a crust of bread. I dream of days when life was so much brighter, as on the dark and dreary streets I tread. And then I pull my belt a little tighter, with the hope my song is not in vain. I'm nothing else but just a poor street singer. Tomorrow I must sing my song again.
Well, these concerts in Atlantic City went on for a while. Then I decided to break away from my mother's apron strings. I had saved $100. I said to my mother, I want to go to Chicago. And I figured at that time the fare to Chicago was $27. I had $100 in my pocket. I said, I'll have enough to pay. The room rent was about $10 a week, and food, and I said, I'll probably be able to get something to earn enough to keep myself and then maybe stay on and earn, which I did.
Hometown, where the garden trees are shady, where our Edie was the lady. I'm going back to see those homely country cousins of mine. I can see a bunch of small-town youths sitting round the local store, whittling sticks in my hometown. Why did I ever roam town? I must be crazy, though the city gals are not so slow. Take me to the concert gals I used to know. I'm lonesome night and day for that well-known new mown hay. Hometown, want to wander round your back street, see your tumble-down old shack street. I'd love to walk in on those homely country cousins of mine. Hometown, where the doves are softly cooing, where there's always nothing doing. I'd get a welcome from those homely country cousins of mine. There's an old schoolhouse door We used to tumble through at four, and a small candy store where I could go a dozen lollipops and come for more. Hometown, where the garden trees are shady, where our Edie was a lady. I'm going back to see those tawny country cousins of mine.
After Horatio Connell had brought me back, I came into Philadelphia, where I was hired by the Club Lido, which was a beautiful, beautiful restaurant, about 1,000 capacity, tremendous place. No microphone. That was, incidentally, that was Prohibition days, when it was all bathtub whiskey. And people usually brought their own flask of whiskey. And the owner, Rags Nolan, a wonderful guy, but he was one of the boys, you know. The story was that he had 11 notches in his gun for 11 murders that he had committed. Because in those days, the gang ran rampant, you know, with Al Capone and all these big guys. And the doorman downstairs, he had a signal to the bartender in case there was going to be a raid or something. Just before my appearance, two of my schoolmates came in. Two of my friends came in with their girls and flasks on their hip pockets. They invited me to sit down, which I did. And out came the flask, and they were pouring whiskey into the glasses. And I happened to be sitting at a glass full of whiskey. And there was a raid. There was the police were coming up. He poured all the whiskeys into a funnel that went down to the basement. And this little dried up head of the crew that came up, the police, came in searching, and they walked around, and here was this glass of whiskey in front of me. And he said, into the bar. I said, go on, you're drunk. And when he showed me his badge, I started to shake. But this little guy, seeing that there was no whiskey at the bar and saw the funnel, he ran down to the basement and with his handkerchief mopped up whatever he could between the bricks and squeezed it into a bottle for evidence. This is Saturday night, late. The hearing was held on Sunday morning. And when I came up, when I was called on to tell my story, my boss jumped up. He really loved me, and he took such care of me. He jumped up and he said, Judge, I don't care what you do with me, he said. I don't care, anything you say. But this kid, he's innocent. He don't drink. He was sitting there before the glass, welcoming his friends. He said, anything.
Get along, little doggy, get along. Get along, little doggy, get along. I'm heading for the last roundup. Gonna saddle old Pain for the last time and run. So long, old pal, it's time your tears were dry. I'm heading for the last roundup. Get along, little doggy, get along, get along, get along, little doggy, get along. Get along, little doggy, get along, get along, get along, little doggy, get along. I'm heading for the last roundup. To the faraway ranch of the boss in the sky. Where the strays are counted and branded, there go I.
on the edge of the dance floor and sing, appearing before each table, and I didn't know what to do with my hands. The boss said to me, go to Smiler. Now, Smiler was a man who had an importing men's shop on Broad Street, which is the main street in Philadelphia. Go to Smiler's, he said, and tell him I said, get yourself a cane. So I went, and it gave me a stance. It gave me something to do with my hands. I would pass the cane from one hand to the other, or I would put one hand on one end of the cane and the other on the other end, and just it gave me a little freedom of movement.
Get along, little doggy, get along. Get along, little doggy, get along.
You know how I used to work? Even here in New York, my first show, I would come on, say, around noon or 12:30. I would wear the clothes, civil clothes I was wearing. My second show, which would be around 2:30 or 3 o'clock, I would wear a short jacket and striped trousers. For my third show, which would be just around or before dinner time, I would wear a tuxedo. And for the evening, I would wear those wonderful clothes that Hawes and Curtis made for me, the white tie and tails.
Someday, when I'm awfully low, when the world is cold, I will feel a glow just thinking of you and the way you look tonight. Oh, but you're lovely with your smile so warm and your cheeks so soft. There is nothing for me but to love you just the way you look tonight.
I was appearing on Broadway at the Low State Theater, and as I passed through the stage door, I saw 4 big husky men standing on the curb and a big limousine at the curb. I was marked for a kidnap, for ransom. Give them $25,000 and they release you. But I had had some domestic trouble at the time with my wife, and my mob, the boys who were in my territory where I was working and living, said to the head of the other mob, lay off the kid. He's got trouble enough at home. And they left.
You need sympathy, sympathy, just sympathy. I'm just trying to be friendly and gentle, but not sentimental. So if I should touch your hand, don't misunderstand, it's me